Welcome back to the nsportspodcast. My name is Riley Viss. Next to me is Blake Parks. And we have another episode before State. State is what? 9 days away? I think it's about 10 days away.
10 days.
It's getting there. It's getting close. It's about 2 weeks away. But let's jump right into her. We will talk about last week's games first, as I went to the Boynton Hall versus Sioux Central game. And Boynton Hall played outstanding. Offense and defense was probably the best game that they've ever played this year. Sioux Central is really not a terrible team. They just got handled very, very well. I've never seen Boynton Hall play. I'd almost call this a perfect game. They didn't foul. They didn't reach. They didn't put their hand down on the block. In the first quarter, I believe Sioux Central only made 1 3, which was less than a minute to go in the first quarter, and 2 free throws. That's it. They missed 4 free throws. Boynton Hall's defense forced them. They had more air balls in the first quarter than they did hit the rim because of such good defense. I could talk about it for the next 5 minutes how good that defense was. I have never seen defense that good throughout the entire quarter. They didn't give up anything. They gave up 5 points. 1 3-pointer because it was at the end of the quarter and it was a miscommunication on defense on a switch, and he got it and he knocked it down. Otherwise, everything was contested very tightly. Nothing else was open. I think they had 1 other open shot the entire first half. But Boynton Hall just went out there and drove it into them. They were taller, stronger, more physical than Sioux Central. Like, looking at the lineups, it was bad. Sioux Central could not stop Keaton Mosier. I think he had 14 at the half, and they were all layups. Like, he just drove in and powered his way in, and they couldn't stop him. Double-teamed him, couldn't stop him. Nothing stopped Boynton Hall in this game. And they went up 45 early in the fourth, and then their subs went in with about 5 or 6 minutes left, and then ended up winning it by 39. Subs was just kind of screwing around, not really showing what we got next year, but they're just having fun. I mean, it's a playoff game. So that's kind of the Boynton Hall game. I wish I had stats up for you. We could probably pull it up here in a second, but otherwise, there's really nothing to look at except for Boynton Hall shot well and played amazing defense, and Sioux Central shot awful and didn't have good enough defense to stop them. Here it is. Boynton Hall shot 32 of 56, 1 of 12 from downtown. They only made 1 3, and that was fine because they drove and drove and drove and drove. They didn't even look for the 3. They just shot open threes and didn't make money. But 4 double-digit scores. Keaton Mosier had 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Let's see here. Tanner Tesla with 10 points, 10 rebounds, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. Andrew Frick with 13 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist. And Marcus Kelvin with 13 points, shooting 6 of 7. Like I'm telling you, like I said, we made all layups. That's really all it was. I think we maybe shot 3 jumpers and then like 12 threes, I guess. But yeah, that was about it for that game. As Blake listened on the radio to the West Sioux and Cherokee game, so I'll have him discuss that a little bit.
Yeah. In the first half, honestly, it was a great game to listen to, as it was a 1-point game at half. But West Sioux would go on their little run like they normally do. But then all of a sudden, Cherokee, which we probably didn't give them much credit during the district as what we probably should have. But they also went on their little run as, let's see, I don't remember what his name is.
Post?
Yes.
For Cherokee?
Cherokee, yeah.
Yeah,
But he had 25 of his own points. And
that's a good game.
Yeah. And he was basically the reason for their run, as we were trying to pull up the Cherokee roster.
It was Hurd. Ryan Hurd.
Ryan Hurd he had 25 points of his own as he tried to get his team to be back to even in the second half, but West Sioux, being as good as they are, they ran away with this one. And the final score of that one was 83-66. And
first half looked like it was back and forth,
Yeah.
and then we said it in an earlier podcast. It's going to be West Sioux in the late part of the game. We were talking more of the fourth quarter, but I guess in the third quarter they won that one by 6, and then in the fourth quarter they won that one by 10, probably because of free throws late in the game. But we'll pull up to see if there's any crazy stats for West Sioux's.
You got two 20-point scorers I was looking at. Bryce Kopic had 20, shot 7 of 17, and Hunter Deckers also had 20. He only shot 6 of 9, 2 of 2 from 3, 6 of 6 from the free throw line, along with 6 rebounds and 6 assists. And yeah, there's 4 double-digit scorers in this one too, as Mason Kopic, a freshman, had 17, and Baxter Walsh also had 17 in that game as well. And I was looking at the stats. Cherokee made more 3-pointers this game against West Sioux than they did in the first game. They shot 1 of 13. Then this one, they ended up shooting, I think, 8 of 21 or so. West Sioux shot 11 of 18, but they went 18 of 22 from the free throw line. They scored 4 free throws the whole game. And then I went to go look at Cherokee's free throw shooting. They were like 10 of 20. And so, yeah, if you want to be a good team, you got to make your free throws as well. But you also got to play good defense. And that's really hard to do against a great West Sioux team because they got so many people that can score. They got people that can rebound. They got people that can do everything.
Right. Those are 2 kind of recaps. He listened to his game on the radio, and I went to the Boyne Hall game. And that's basically it for the recaps. I mean, we could go more in depth, but we're trying to keep it to a minimum this time. Let's take a look at our 1A rankings for the remaining 32 teams, and then we'll take a look at the 2A rankings for the remaining 16 teams. Once again, these are rankings 1 through 32 of the remaining teams. So these rankings aren't your top 32 teams, it's the remaining teams. Can't stress that enough because, like I said in the last podcast, people are still going to get confused with it. They're going to be like, oh, this team's number 1, when they might not actually be number 1. But District 1, we have number 4, South O'Brien, going up against number 27, George Little Rock. Clear favorite is South O'Brien in this one. I will take them by 15, maybe even 20. Unless George comes out and really plays, then I still take South O'Brien by 10 to 15. It could get out of hand, but if George can really keep it under control, they can keep it within 20. But honestly, this game could either get way out of hand or it's going to be close. One of the two, but South O'Brien will come out of this one unless a crazy night happens, which I highly doubt it. The 2-3 zone is going to kill George. They're a shooting team, but they also love to drive, and they can go to drive in this game. So, District 2 is number 5, Bishop Garrigan, going up against number 28, Harris Lake Park. Harris Lake Park took down Newell Fonda in what the state probably thought was the biggest upset in 1A, but really, I kind of saw it coming in a way, but really, it is an upset to me as well. But great game played by Bubba Sonas. I believe he dropped 26, and really all they did was break the press and score on it. That's all you got to do. District 3, we have number 8, Lake Mills, versus number 31, West Hancock. So these first 3 districts are basically your top 10 teams facing your worst 10 teams so far. Obviously, we'll take Lake Mills in this one as well. District 4 is Turkey Valley. They are ranked 13th versus Janesville, who is ranked 20th. This one's a little bit closer. Look for Janesville to be a very tough matchup against Turkey Valley. I'm not picking either team because it's going to be a very close game. Mm-hmm. And then rounding out your top 5 districts, it is number 1, Easton Valley, 23-0, going up against number 30, Edgewood Colesburg. They are 14-9, and Easton Valley should probably win this district, and then they got to play Wapsie Valley or Don Bosco, which will give them a competition, but I believe we will be seeing Easton Valley at state. Blake, you can take over 6 through 10.
All right, so in District 6, we got Wapsie Valley. They're coming in ranked 18 against Don Bosco, who is ranked 26th. Then in District 7, we got Springsville, who's ranked 12, versus Riverside, ranked 23rd. District 8, we got New London, they're 17th against my favorite team in this whole 1A, because they have a fun name to say, is Pekin. They're ranked 22. It's a little bit closer. So yeah, I think that would be a good matchup. District 9, we got Montezuma, who's coming in at 11th, versus Kyoto, who is ranked 16th. I think that's going to be a close one, but hoping Montezuma comes out of this one. Hopefully we see them at state again, so we can hopefully talk to Trey Shear again, as we also had him on the podcast last year to talk a little bit about the team and what it's like to be at state. And to round out the next 5 in District 10, we got Central Decatur, who's ranking 24th, against Nottoway Valley, who's ranked 25th. So we got 24-25 matchup. That should be a close one.
Right, that should be a pretty close one. Winner's got to face Montezuma or Kyoto. They really could have switched one of those teams around and put Montezuma and Kyoto as a Substate game, but no, why would you? Anyways, District 11 is number 2, West Fork, versus number 19, Tama Meskwaki. Tama was in our rankings midway through the season, and I think they popped in it later, but then jumped back out. They're a good team, obviously, if they're hitting people's rankings. Around the state, they were ranked late in the season, so they topped into the top 10 late in the season. But we did not put them in the top 5, did we? No, we did not. They're ranked 19. But, yeah, they're a tough team. So look for Madrid to have a tough way out of their district. But don't be surprised if either team comes out.
You mean West Fork to have a tough time?
I said that, most definitely.
Madrid is District 12.
District 12, speaking of Madrid, they are ranked number 10. They play number 9, Ankeny Christian. For the first time in our rankings for 1A, we have the bottom side of the bracket better than the top side, which Madrid maybe got that 1 seed, and the coaches thought they were better than Ankeny Christian, but a lot of people could argue that big time, especially us. In District 13, we have Mount Ayr ranked 6th versus Bedford, who's ranked 29th. Once again, a pretty uneven matchup, but Bedford is playing very good late in the season and into postseason, so don't be surprised if there's an upset there. Number 14 is Martinsdale, ranked 7th versus Anita Cam, who's ranked 15th. I thought they lost. They jumped in our rankings earlier in the season, or midway through the early mid, I guess. And then, because they were undefeated, and then they lost 2 games to not very good teams, so we took them out. And then District 15, this one's getting closer to home. It is Woodbine, who came in as the 5 seed?
Let's see.
I think they came in as a 5 seed. Yes, they did. They came in as a 5 seed. Took down Logan Magnolia, who's a 4 seed, and then the number 1 seed, Boyer Valley. And now they are here facing, they are the 32nd best team. Unfortunately, we had to put them as a worst team in the remaining 32. But look for them to also pull out an upset, as they are playing good late in the season through the postseason. And they face a very tough Council Bluffs St. Albert team, who is ranked 21st, but 9-14 record. That's because they are from Council Bluffs, which is over by Omaha, and there's 1A teams there.
Yeah, they play a lot of bigger, better schools.
Yeah.
So for them to get at least 9 wins out of the season, almost come 500, that's pretty good.
It's a lot of 3A, 4A schools over there. Maybe, I think they played 1 or 2 2A teams. They probably played the other Council Bluff 1A team, or the 2A Council Bluff team. There's so many Council Bluff teams.
Just like Sioux City.
Right. And then we will jump over to District 16. Remsen coming in at rank number 3 this week, and Siouxland Christian coming in at rank number 14. So basically, we look at our top. Obviously, we're taking Remsen there. But we look at our top 5, and number 2, we had them at number 2. It's Wacko. They went 21-0. West Fork is out, right? Yeah. And then, 2 of our top 5 teams disappeared out of the playoffs. Wacko was probably overrated. We probably shouldn't have had them second. I mean, top 5 maybe. Top 10, yeah, for sure. Top 3, probably not. That is our bad, but we joined the hype train with an undefeated team. So that was our fault. But overall, 1A looks like there's a lot of blowout games, but it looks like we could have some good games as well. Mm-hmm. Flying through it real quick. Montezuma versus Kyoto is probably going to be one of the better games, but the best game is going to be Madrid, who's ranked 10th, versus number 9, Ankeny Christian. That's probably the best game there. We will re-rank these teams with the remaining 16 teams after tomorrow's games. It's Thursday tomorrow. It's Wednesday today. You don't know when you're watching it. Don't know when this video gets released, as it might take forever to upload. But Wednesday today, and they play tomorrow on Thursday for the district finals. And then, right? Yeah, district finals. And then we'll re-rank them after Thursday with a Substate finals with the final 16 teams.
So if you're confused, we'll just do it for the next video.
Right.
To sum it up.
Yep. And speaking of the remaining 16 teams, that is what 2A has now. So we will jump over to 2A as we have coming in at the top spot still is Northland. They didn't move anywhere. They've been the number 1 seed for us since the end of the season. We had Van Meter here, but they lost out of the top 15 when we re-ranked these teams with the remaining 32. So Northland's at the 1 seed. But we will jump into the districts. District 1 is West Sioux, ranked number 3, facing South Central Calhoun for Substate, who is ranked 12th. What do you got in this one? I mean, you got to take the better team. Again, you just got to take West Sioux because they're the better team. You don't think West...
I picked South Central Calhoun because even you were telling me that they were not going to come out of that district. They ended up coming out of the district just fine. And I think they match up with West Sioux as they also have the height, but they also have muscle and strength with them.
Blake's been drinking a lot lately, ladies and gentlemen.
Not really. I just got my Dr. Pepper.
It's filled with beer. District or Substate 2 is Boyden Hall, ranked number 4 in our remaining rankings, and they are facing Westline, who's ranked 13th. Safe to say Boyden Hall. You got Boyden Hall too? Yeah. I think Boji would have been a better matchup for Boyden Hall, or even Western, or even Spirit Lake. I think Westline just doesn't match up with Boyden Hall the best. Boyden Hall swept the series, but the saying has it, can't beat a team 3 times in one season.
Well, they're not saying you can. It's just they're saying it's hard.
Super hard.
It's hard to do it.
Super hard. District or Substate 3, we have Forest City ranked number 14 going up against our number 1 team. It is Northland at 23-0. Northland is the favorite here, but Forest City's really been playing a good Cinderella run throughout the playoffs. I believe they were the 4 seed, and trust me, they are a very tough team. They aren't going home early, as you can see, and they aren't going to go home without a very tough battle. Northland had to get here by beating, was it Dyke New Hartford?
New Hartford.
In a 6-point win.
They struggled a little bit.
They struggled. I think Dyke New Hartford was just that good. I think they finally faced one of the best teams in the state. And Northland isn't like last year, so they're not going to destroy every single team to state. They're going to struggle more. And I think Forest City gives them fits. But I think Northland comes out by 10 in this one, maybe 15 after all the free throws at the end of the game. And rounding out the first half of our substates, it is Substate number 4, Beckman Catholic. They're ranked number 7th. They are facing Monticello, who is ranked number 8. I was filling this out, and I said, you know what? This could be the best matchup. And it by far is. It's a 7 versus 8. And in a 16-team bracket, they play in the first round. So they're 16-seeded bracket now, and these guys are playing in the first round. They got a winner goes to state.
Alrighty, so now we go to district number, or sub-state, I guess, since it's 2A. We go to Substate 5, which is Comanche coming in number 5 versus West Burlington, who is ranked 16th. Then in Substate 6, we got Albia coming in at 9 versus Woodward Granger, who is coming in at 6. This will be another great matchup, as it is another top 10 matchup. But Woodward Granger should come out of this game, but it might be one of the really close games. Or if Woodward Granger plays very well, they might end up coming with like a 15-point win. But that's also going to be another great matchup in this one.
I like Woodward in this one. They just took down the number 1 VIN meter. A lot of people were somewhat surprised. I was not surprised. I love Woodward Granger. I hope they make it to state. I would love to watch them. All they had to do is beat Albia, which is very, very possible.
But Albia will not go down without a fight.
They will not.
And at Substate 7 now, we have Pella Christian, who's coming in at 11th, versus South Hamilton, who's 15th.
Blake doesn't like South Hamilton. I don't know why. Maybe somebody else knows why.
We don't have footage of me almost ripping out a stadium seat against that team. But
Pella Christian is 12-10. They come in ranked at number 11 for us. They are 12-10 because they are from Pella, and that's by Des Moines, right? No, by Iowa City, I think. Anyways,
they play a lot of bigger schools.
They play some big freaking schools.
They're just like St. Albert,
right?
Council Bluffs, and they play a lot of bigger schools. But yeah, getting over 500 playing a lot of those bigger schools is quite an accomplishment.
They're a very tough team.
Yeah. And then in Substate 8, we have our sleeper, one of my sleeper teams. We got Panorama coming in at 10 versus a tough team, which is Trainer, which is number 2 this week.
Your biggest Cinderella stories has been Panorama and Forest City for 2A by far. And you know what? I like both teams. I really wish both teams could go to state. Forest City's not going to beat Northland, I don't think, though. And I don't think the number 2 seed's going home either.
I think Panorama will give Trainer fits as Panorama. They just play everybody. I mean, they have 6 losses, but the 6 losses came to like Northland and all these tougher 2A, maybe 3A teams.
All their losses, I believe, came in the top 15 of our rankings. I believe. They lost twice in Northland. That's 2 of their 6 losses. I think they lost to either Dyke New Hartford or Beckman Catholic twice. Or they split the season series. I don't know. They lost to one of those teams once, for sure.
I want to say they lost to Woodward Granger, too, but don't quote me on that.
I think so as well.
But yeah, they're a really tough team. They're 17-6, and they're considered a sleeper team. Like,
yep.
That's all well. Like, they'll give Trainer a whole bunch of fits, so I think that'll be a great game, even though it's a 2 versus 10.
It's kind of crazy how our 2 best sleeper teams have to go up against our 1 and 2 seed. Like, you could say West Lyon's a sleeper team at the 13 seed, but really, who'd they get here beating? Sibley Cheatham, Spirit Lake, and then Okoboji. That's not a sleeper team. That's just beating the teams that you should have beat.
Normally play.
I mean, maybe it's an upset over Spirit Lake, but
they did lose to Spirit Lake earlier this season, so I guess it was a revenge game for them.
Right. But that's 2 and 3 seeds, so you can't really look at the 3 seed being too much of a sleeper team.
Now, if they maybe would have beaten Western, then okay, maybe consider them a sleeper team, but like that district's not really meant for sleeper teams, I guess.
Right. They were all good there, so there's really nothing to sleep about in that district. But yeah, those are our top 16 or remaining 16 team rankings. Thursday, what game are you going to? We haven't really decided yet, so
I am not sure if I want to go to 1A or maybe I'll slip into the MOC gym and watch a 3A matchup against MOC and Lamar's. I think that would be a great matchup.
Yep, there's some good games going on, but they're very far away.
Yeah.
And the games that are near us are really not too intriguing, or we've seen the team too many times. I'm interested in South O'Brien and George to the slightest, but that's the only game I'd probably go to. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to stay home and have a good night off, as we have 5 straight days of all basketball in 2 weeks. But Saturday, I will be going to the Boyne Hall West Lyon game, so I'll be posting on the Snapchat for sure. maybe stories on the Instagram and Facebook, but for sure Snapchat. So, and if you want to follow us there, it's nsportspodcast, I believe. Something like that.
I don't know. We'll put it down below so you guys can follow.
Yep, or go look at our Instagram. It's also on our Instagram. That is just Anglin Sports Podcast with our new white logo. So if you want to find all of our information, it's all on our Instagram. Our Instagram has all the information where you need to follow us on. The Facebook just has more updates, I suppose, than anything else. But yeah, this is our latest podcast. It's a midweek podcast, so we're trying to keep it short. And Thursday night, maybe have a pot. Depends if we go to any games. If we don't go to any games, then we'll probably just leave it for a Saturday night, Sunday podcast. We'll probably just make it a big Sunday podcast. So look for the podcast Sunday. No sooner. If it is sooner, it'll be on Spotify.
Yeah.
Because it'll be a quick 10 to 15 minute video of recapping Thursday's games.
Hopefully. We like to talk. But.
Yeah. Whoops. Anyways, that is it for us here today. Don't be afraid to stop up and say hi to us if you see us at a game.
We don't bite, we promise.
Right, don't be afraid to sit by us for a while.
Smack you, but
don't be afraid to message us what we think of some games, and we'll get your answer probably within 15 minutes usually, unless we're at work. But yeah, that's it. We will see you guys Sunday afternoon. Have a great night. Enjoy your games. Go out and support your team if they are still available in the tournaments. And yeah, just enjoy your night.